Disabilities Issues and Updates on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Center for Independent Living, Abilities in Motion.
Hello and welcome to Disabilities Issues and Updates. I am your host, Teresa Faulkner. It's a pleasure to have you with us today as we have our topic of Down syndrome and embrace marketplace. We definitely want to welcome our guest, Elizabeth Setterly, who is our ASL signer, and our guest today is Ashley and Joan Crater, and they are going to be talking about Down syndrome. Welcome, ladies. Welcome this morning.
Thank you.
I think our audience would like to just hear a little bit about yourself. Tell us about yourself, what things you enjoy, what hobbies you have before we get into our topic. We'll start with Ashley.
Ashley,
Okay.
so talk about what you enjoy doing.
Well, my hobby, I enjoy swimming all the time.
Oh,
She swims.
She's a swimmer.
She's a Special Olympic swimmer.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
she's so excited because they just started up again after 2 years.
Oh, wonderful,
She's,
wonderful.
She's in water and swimming. She actually swam also for the high school varsity team when she was at Muhlenberg High School.
Okay.
So she is very comfortable in the water.
Oh, good, wonderful. Do you have any trophies or medals?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful, wonderful,
them.
wonderful. Well, let's see what Mom likes to do. Joan,
What
tell
I
us
like to
about yourself.
do is my favorite hobby, my favorite thing to do is to read.
Oh, okay.
So anytime I get a chance to sit and read, and I always carry a book with me in case I have to wait, and I don't mind going to the doctor's office because I can read in the waiting room. Any place I can read is great, but that's kind of my favorite thing to do.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing with our viewers the things you like to do. That's wonderful. But today our topic is actually going to be about Down syndrome, and we're going to talk about Ashley's business called Embrace Marketplace. But let's just kind of get some background on Down syndrome. Joan, what was the experience like for you as Ashley's mother?
The experience at birth when she was born, I had no idea that she had a disability, that she had Down syndrome. You know, you go into labor with that expectation of the healthy baby that you're going to be holding in your arms hours later, and we got the news that she had Down syndrome. And I never heard the word before. Back at that time, it was still mongoloid was used as a term to describe Down syndrome, but that's a completely, that word is not used at all anymore. But I didn't know what to expect. I was scared to death. And you go through all those range of emotions, like the grief cycle, you know, until you finally get to acceptance. To be honest, I didn't even know if I was going to take her home. I was that scared. I was more concerned that I couldn't do it. You know, that I didn't have the confidence in myself to raise a child with a disability. But a couple days after she was born, my husband came into the hospital to see us, and he had a mobile with him, the kind that they hang above the cribs, that the baby can see. It was a mobile of Disney characters. And I said to him, well, what did you get that for? And he said, because we're going to take her to Disney when she's old enough to know what these characters are. And, you know, that kind of reversed my whole way of thinking, because now we're thinking future. You know, we're not thinking present, we're thinking future. And that's kind of, I held on to that for so long. And we did, when she was 3 years old, we took a trip to Disney.
Oh,
We've been there
wonderful.
many times since. In fact, we were just there at Christmas time this past year with some of her nieces and nephew and brothers. So that kind of turned it all around for me.
I want to ask Ashley, do you know the characters at Disney?
Yeah, I
You do?
Yes,
Wonderful.
She learned the
Wonderful.
characters very early.
Wonderful. I'm sorry,
But,
Mom. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Somebody said to me once, or I heard it, that when you have a child with Down syndrome, you have hit the jackpot. And you may not realize that right away, but it's such a gift. And that's what I began to realize, that this special child was given to us to raise, and to take care of. And we often say now that she was given to us to take care of, but she takes care of us now, you know, because she has the greatest sense of humor. She makes us laugh all the time. Yeah, you do.
Oh.
And she's just become a good buddy. We're like best friends, right? Who's your best friend?
My mother.
My mother, yeah.
Wonderful.
I mean, we do everything together. So it's been a roller coaster ride, but it's been the greatest experience. I never thought it would be that way. We had a lot of help along the way, you know, friends and family that accepted and helped, you know, when we needed help. Teachers, you know, it just, the list is ongoing. But, you know, looking back on it now, I know several years ago we had somebody from the Reading Eagle come out, and they were doing a story on Down syndrome, and they asking us what the challenges were. And I sat there and I couldn't think of any, because all I could think of was the joys. So that's kind of our experience with Down syndrome. It was much of a roller coaster for a long time, but I would do it over again.
As I listen to you tell your story, your truth in reference to Down syndrome, I often think about, I had a brother-in-law, Todd, who had Down syndrome, and his story background really wasn't like that. It really, back in the day, I'm not going to tell the audience how old I am, but back in the day, there was such a stigma about Down syndrome, and the person was hid away. But I can really say that as Todd got older and things were set up differently in his life, he evolved. He got to travel. Matter of fact, he went to Disney. He went to Disney World. And it's a wonderful thing to say. It's a wonderful thing to see that how our world is changing and how all persons are being embraced. And I think it's a wonderful, you know, our show is about disabilities, and if you're watching and you have a disability and you feel like this isn't going to get any better, we're here to let you know that's not true.
It's not true at all.
Life can really get better for you, and there are things, there's supports, there are groups to be able to help you with the things that you're struggling with. Did you want to say anything else, Joan, concerning Down syndrome and how some of the things like what was different about Ashley when she went to school? Was learning a little different for you?
Yeah, I that was once, you know, once we brought her home and got comfortable with having a daughter with Down syndrome, my biggest fear was school. Because back when I went to school, which again, I'm not going to say when because it was a long time ago, but the kids with disabilities were kind of hidden in the basement. They were, it was called the special ed room, and you very rarely saw them, and they really didn't do much with them at all. And so I had this vision, you know, and I also had the vision of, oh my gosh, she has brothers and a sister that go to school there, and how hard is this going to be for them, you know, having a child with a sister with a disability in the district. And again, any of my fears just kind of went away as we started to progress. You know, one of the things, a story that I love to tell is back when she was a senior in high school, and I got one of those notices that she was going to get an award. So I thought, oh, okay, she's getting a perfect attendance award. So I, you know, went in, I was sitting with her teacher in the auditorium, and after she got her perfect attendance award, I said, look, I got to get back to work. And she said, no, I want you to sit for a little bit longer. So about 10 minutes later, they gave the sportsmanship awards. And the senior girl for the sportsmanship award was Ashley Crater. Well, everybody in that auditorium clapped for her, gave her a standing ovation, every single kid in that auditorium. And I mean, it just brings tears to my eyes to think about it, because this was the kind of thing that I never ever thought would happen back in those early days, you know, after she was born. But high-fiving her, she goes down the aisle to get this big trophy, you know. But
wow.
I mean, those are the kind of experiences that that when you have a child with any disability, you think will never happen, and when it does, it makes it so much more special.
Yes,
than if,
yes,
if,
absolutely.
she was a typical child.
Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. Wonderful story, wonderful story. Ashley does a lot of you text. I found out this morning we have a boyfriend, and
Go ahead.
so listen, she's normal. She's a normal person. She has a disability, but she is normal. I understand that there's a video that we're going to look
Yes.
at, and tell us a little bit about the video. Just let us know what's
This
going
was a promo for her business, Embrace Marketplace, and it was actually my oldest son, Christopher. I'll give him a little plug, Christopher Crater. He works in Manhattan. He does a lot of film editing for CBS, and he started out at Fox News, when he got out of college. He works for a couple of different companies, so he does for a lot of freelance. But anyway, he did this video as a promotion for Ashley for her business, again, Marketplace, Embrace Marketplace.
All right, well, let's look at the video, and then we'll go into the business.
It's so amazing to me. Everybody loves everyone. That's cool. It's to be accepted. Include. That means include the sports, play with the cousins. Doesn't matter who you are. Embrace. Love. Hugs. Hi, I'm Ashley Cradle. I am a CEO in Embrace Marketplace.
This is a new beginning. Yeah, this is just a start. We won't forget this feeling, but wait for the best part.
Wow, wonderful. You are a star. Mom, I wanted to ask you, as far as the word embrace, why did you use that in the name of the business? As you can see, I'm advertising.
Just so all the audience can see, we all have products on that we sell through Embrace Marketplace. Stand up for a minute, Ash. The shirt that Ashley has on is our brand new shirt for World Down Syndrome Day, which is March 21st. It's the markers in between kindness and, kindness and everything is the marker for the 21st chromosome. There are 3 marks on there rather than 2, which is what makes a person have Down syndrome, that 3rd marking on the 21st chromosome. So that's the mark, and she also has a tattoo. Where's your tattoo? She has a tattoo with the same marking on. Put your arm like that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yes, she has a tattoo. A couple of her siblings do as well.
Wonderful. A tattoo, wonderful.
My daughter, again, I have a very talented family. My daughter does a lot of marketing, and she is the one who came up with the idea for Embrace Marketplace. It came about because it was during the pandemic. She used to work at DoubleTree. She was a hostess there. She went to a day program through Dayspring called Crosswalks, and she was busy all the time. So the pandemic came, and like so many other people, she had nothing to do. And it was getting to the point where we could see a depression even setting in because she had nothing to do. So my daughter came up with the idea of, you can't work outside because of the pandemic, but let's work inside and let's build a business that you can be proud of, and we'll send messaging to people. And this actually went throughout the country that we had orders, but sending messages about how important it is to accept, include, and embrace people with disabilities.
Yes.
And I just wanted to read this. My daughter wrote this.
Sure.
It's embracing this community leads to more understanding, inclusion, and opportunities in schools, workplace, and in society. And that really says it all, and that's when we wear the shirts Embrace. It's such a powerful word, especially for people with disabilities.
I started laughing. Your mom told you to stand up, Ashley. I thought she was going to tell me to stand up and show my shirt.
You can stand up too. I couldn't see her wording. That
Yeah.
was all right, so.
Yes, I love my shirt. It's very, very nice and warm. Thank you
That's
so
my
much.
most comfortable sweatshirt that I own. I can
Yes,
say.
yes.
I had to buy one too from her.
And I like yours. Yours actually deals with inclusion. Choose inclusion. That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be included.
Again, it's the wording, and people see the wording and think, wow, I can relate to that. You know, everybody knows somebody with a disability. Many families have people with disabilities, and you can relate to things like embrace, kindness is everything, and choose inclusion.
Right. And I think in the times that we're living in right now, we need to embrace one another.
We do.
This, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it's been a very difficult time. We're coming out and we're adjusting, but it still has an effect on the mental health of you.
That's right.
For a long time, we worked from home for almost a year, and that was something I like to be around people. And so, yes, we do need to embrace one another. Tell us about where your website is as far as looking for things to buy from the Embrace Company.
Okay. The website is www.embracemarketplace.com. And if you go onto that website, you can see the variety of different t-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, travel mugs. What else do we have? Knapsacks. Again, with the messaging that we're wearing today. She has, a lot of them say that the messaging from last year was the accept, include, embrace. So a lot of them have them accept, include, embrace. That was a very popular shirt.
Okay.
We're hoping this one is going to be just as popular. I think it will be.
Wonderful. I think you have something there to show our
Yes, we
audience.
do.
Yes, let's share that.
In addition to the t-shirts and the products that she sells, she also makes plaques. And this is just an example of one of the plaques that she makes. It's solar flowers, which are wooden flowers. So what she does, you want to talk about what you do for that? You paint? Go ahead.
I paint. Yes, I paint a lot, and I dye with the flowers all the time.
And she dyes the flowers, yeah. And then she helps decide where we're going to place them on there. But one of the other things she does, which is I think kind of cool, when we make, when we sell the T-shirts and the products, she helps bag them up, of course, and put labels on them. But she also, if it's not too far away, she hand delivers them. And people love that, to see her go, and it's been good for her too, to go to the door and say, I'm Ashley from Embrace Marketplace, and here's your order. And people just love it when they get that personal service, having their orders delivered to them.
I would tell you, Ashley, that's excellent customer service. Hand delivered from the owner of the company. That's wonderful.
From the CEO.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
I also found out something when I was doing some research, that not only does Ashley sell her things on the on the website, but she also lets other people.
Well, we haven't gotten that far yet, mostly because of the pandemic.
Okay.
But it's an opportunity for anybody with a disability, and of course, you know, Down syndrome is a disability. Anybody who has things they like to sell could sell them through her marketplace. So we're going to promote that more now that hopefully this pandemic is dying down and people are getting back to their regular schedules, and hoping that some of the participants, even in the Dayspring program, might start working on craft type of things that they can sell on Embrace Marketplace.
And we really have to think about, with the pandemic, persons with disabilities were really affected, because a lot of the things that they do for to be social and to be together and all that were closed. They were actually, and I don't think Dayspring is open yet. It's,
They have group homes. And
Okay,
Of course, they
yes,
kept those open.
yes.
But the day program has not opened yet. We're hoping that it's going to be open very soon. We're hearing some rumors that they're working on it. It's actually great. It's very convenient for us because they hold their day program at our church, which is only 5 minutes from our house.
Oh, okay.
But the other thing that is great about that is that in the beginning of the year, she was approached at church about helping out with the nursery school that run through our church because they got to know her real well. Of course, she grew up in that church,
Yes,
but also because of her being in the crosswalk program. So she goes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning and helps out with the daycare at our church. And when I told them Wednesday she wasn't going to be here Friday, she said, you know, when Ashley's not here, the kids are always asking, where's Ashley? So she's, you know, it's been a great thing for her. She also works, tell them where you work in the spring.
I always work on like a fine fields.
Fight and Phil.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
She works for, I always call it the Reading Phillies. She
Reading
calls it the
Phillies.
Fighting Phillies.
And
so-
what do you do? What's your job there?
Well, my job is I always giving away.
Giveaways.
Oh, okay,
So she
okay.
hands out giveaways.
Oh, wonderful. And I knew this morning when we came in to do the show that great minds think alike. When I saw Ashley's hat and I had on my hat, I thought, we think alike. Doesn't she look great? And she has the name of the company on her hat. Very nice. And those are things that you can buy on the
Those are
app?
things you can buy. Those are things you can buy on the internet. I did forget to mention that that we have a Facebook page too.
Oh, okay.
So, Embrace Marketplace on Facebook, and you can look through there at the different items that we have for sale.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's tell our viewing audience one more time where they can find items or find the items to buy.
Yeah, it's www.marketplace.com, all one word.
And then your Facebook page?
Embrace Marketplace.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you, Joan and Ashley, for being a part of our show today and just giving just good information and being a fashion statement today. Ashley, I appreciate you being here. We want to thank you for how you shared your personal story. I'm sure it means a lot to our viewers. Before we go today, we just want to let you know that Abilities in Motion is open. However, we're not actually open to the public. If you would need to contact us or if you have any questions or concerns, you can call 610-376-0010. If you want to speak directly to me, my extension is 108. As our show said today, that we need to embrace. We need to embrace one another. We need to support one another. We need to help one another. We need to encourage one another. And as we continue to go through this pandemic and the many changes and different things concerning masks, if you need those things or if you have questions or concerns about them, we do have information that is available to anyone that will call. If you haven't gotten the vaccine and you have questions concerning that, we have all of that information. So please, we'll be more than happy to email you that information or to send it to you. But don't live in fear, because we believe that education is power and it helps in the decision of you deciding what's best, not only for you, but for your family, your extended families, your communities, the nation, and then our world. Again, we want to thank you for being a part of our show today. Please be safe, enjoy the weekend, enjoy each other. And just like the plaque said, hold that up one more time, Ashley. Let's love and embrace one another. Have a great day.
Disabilities Issues and Updates on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Center for Independent Living, Abilities in Motion.